The three-time Grammy winner and the voice coach has been topping the charts for more than 2 decades, and fans are super excited because this happens to be her first album in 7 years.
7 years.
When in
7 years.
In a mere matter of hours, it will be out. How are you feeling as you're putting this one out into the world?
I gotta be honest, I didn't know I was gonna be. I mean, I knew I was gonna be excited, but I didn't know I was gonna have this like euphoric, like it's coming. Like it was such a labor of love. Like I wanted it so bad, like, but I also felt kind of guilty. Like, you know, your moms, like, when am I gonna find time to go do art? Like, I've already rang the bell like a bunch of times. Like, I just get on with your life. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? But there was just this inner voice that just was like, you got to do it.
You mean guilty
because you weren't with your kids?
Yeah.
Just because, it takes so much time to make music. Like for me, like, and you go in there and you press the button and it doesn't always, like, a song doesn't come. So you come home like, oh, I didn't do anything today. Like nothing happened. And also because I feel like, you know, I spent the last, like, whatever, 9 years of my life, like, trying to get it together after a lot of stuff happened. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And it went really fast. You're saying 7 years, but it went really, really fast. Like a lot of healing, like a lot of things. And then 4 years ago was the pandemic, and we were in 2020, and I was like, Kelly Clarkson kept texting me all these songs she's writing, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, wait, you have babies, like, when are you writing? I stay up all night, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, I'm making bread and doing homeschool. Like, I don't know when. And I sort of got jealous. I was like, and they were good, and I was like, I want to write some songs, and I started doing them, like, just, you know, on Zoom, which is like the weirdest thing ever, and kept like hitting all of these like roads to a cul-de-sac, and I was just like spinning, like, maybe I'll do ska, maybe I'll do reggae. Like I felt like I was chasing myself to try to compete with myself. You know what I'm saying?
But I also think what's such great advice is that you eventually chose yourself. Like you eventually thought, like, no, I need to put out more art. And, you know, and I think sometimes moms don't give ourselves that freedom.
I know, and I feel really, I don't know if I chose myself. I think I kept, like, I think it felt like the inner voice might be, okay, we all have a purpose, right? And, like, obviously one of the purpose of my life is to be a mother and a wife and all the things, but I also know that, like, the only time I feel that I am really contributing, like, to the world is when I'm writing songs. It's like, it really feels like the only thing I'm really, like, good at, you know? And so I just felt like I just needed to do it, even though nobody was like, come on, let's go. Like, we got the studio booked for you.
So what did you do? So you were driving down cul-de-sacs and you couldn't find your way out. What hit?
I think it took, like, finding the right people, and you know, I know I'm name dropping a lot today because I can, and
why not? And you will.
No, I was name dropping Adam Levine next, and he always has hits. And I was like, this is weird, dude. Like, you need to, like, what are you doing? And he goes, no, you got to work with this guy, J Cash. He's awesome. And so, like, 6 months later, he finally gets on the phone with me, and he had sent me this song, and this little girl wrote it. Like, this little girl who's like, oh my gosh, my mom was your fan. And like, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, I'm going to cut the song. It's called True Babe. And I said, you know what? I want to go and meet her and meet the guys that wrote this. So then I went in and wrote Purple Irises. With this little girl, and she's just this really talented, and she just gave me kind of like the space to be able to just do it. You know what I mean? Like, I needed to get that moment. It's always that moment, right?
Yes.
And then after that, I knew the direction I wanted to be in. And I think I was just feeling really nostalgic for, like, my childhood, like being in the station wagon, like driving to church and being in the back with my mom, like, why do you know all these songs? I'm like, because it's soft rock, Mom.
It's kind of a return to yourself then. Is that what this album, how would you describe Bouquets? I mean, I love the title.
Thank you.
I love that it's like.
Blake's actually the one that said I should call it Bouquet, because there are so many references to just like seeds of hope. You know what I mean? Like when you plant. There's like a lot of metaphors in life, I think, to flowers, you know what I'm saying? And I've kind of used them before, but when Blake and I got together, he was planting alfalfa, right? And wheat.
He literally.
He's like a farmer. On a tractor. Is so hot. But anyways. Like,
by the way, Hoda agrees.
I know. Hey, watch it.
Okay, girl. My mom has a big big crush on him too.
Everyone does. Oh! No, I was the one that in 2020 I was like, hey, if you're gonna put seeds around, let's put some zinnia seeds.
Cool.
You know, my mom used to plant those, and it was like the first time. And then we started going huge, like, fields.
Flowers.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was like this, and he didn't know, like, also being in 2020, being in, like, Oklahoma, they have these seasons, and we had never really watched, like, the wildflowers come up, because we're always just racing, and so we just started getting super into it together.
How cool.
And we just, I don't know, and that's when we found the purple irises, because we were basically, like, doing things with the children, like the land is like forever, and we're exploring, and we came across this like 100-year-old homestead, like falling on the ground, like tiny, and someone had planted all these irises at some point, right, like 100 years ago. So we transplanted all of them.
I love this.
And then years later, right, you know, I wrote Purple Irises kind of about, you know, maybe some hot girl named Hoda, who's like retiring from the show, comes along and steals my husband away.
No, Hoda.
You never know.
Hoda, don't steal her husband. He's not one you can date.
No, he's definitely not.
But I really did write the song about being insecure in the relationship, because you just think like this could be snatched away. It could be taken away.
But you don't feel, do you feel that way?
Not like a girl's gonna come, but it's more like life goes on and you realize like how precious feeling love. And you're like, oh my gosh, like anything could happen. And then, you know, you're getting older and you're like, gosh, like, is he gonna still like me? Like all the things that you think of. And then in the song it kind of goes, actually you're getting in your head and you're a stupid girl and you're
living it.
Purple irises together. It's all fine.
Yes. Oh my God, I love that.
So what a great.
By the way, Hoda's favorite metaphor is repotting.
Yeah.
So
pull yourself up by your roots.
Pull yourself up.
And you're scared when you're up in the air. You don't need water.
I learned something new right now.
And then you put it into fertile ground and you grow.
Repot.
Repotting.
Oh, I got you.
The way y'all repotted the irises, frankly.
Look, here's a repotting bracelet.
Repot me. Oh my gosh.
But you don't need to repot because you've just put out some beautiful music.
Thank you.
And guess